Hey everyone, wanted to wish you first happy Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoy the Thanksgiving week and get together with family and friends. And so this week is going to be pretty light. First of all, we're not going to meet on our regular Thursday evening. We're going to have this week as a bye. I've covered both week 6 and 7 in the previous Confer Now virtual lesson. And so if you need to go over that for the rubrics part, please download that onto your desktop. It does make a more clear picture if you do. If not, that's fine. You can watch it from the Google folder. So it's pretty cool this week, I think, because not only will you learn how to create rubrics, and you can create them for actually an assignment, a quiz, or what I mentioned was you could also do it for a threaded discussion. So whichever one you want to choose, there's just some different ways to do that. Create a rubric, and we did find some really cool rubrics in the Commons. So you can also check that out and import some of those into your course. You don't have to use everything in the rubric. You can modify it, delete some items, and so on and so forth. So what I'm asking you for in the rubric is to have at least 5 of the criterions present there. So let me just show you what I mean by that. Now, I know that everybody has a different workflow. If you wanted to come straight to the outcomes, you could go over to Manage Rubrics and create all your rubrics ahead of time. Now, I have quite a few rubrics here. The reason is because a lot of them imported over from Blackboard, and also I've also imported an @1 training course in here, which also had some rubrics for me. If you're starting from scratch, you're not going to see these rubrics. You can click on the Add Rubric button, and then this dialog box or this template will actually pop up. You can name it. Again, you're going to add at least 5 criterions, and then the ratings. Most of the ratings that you see in my class, there's just either you did or you didn't do the activity. In some of my previous rubrics, I actually added different ratings, and those came from exemplary to developing. So I might have this rating as an exemplary, full 5 points, this one as novice, maybe 3 points, and this one as maybe no points for developing, so on and so forth. So you can work that out the way you want to. Hopefully you have some experience with rubrics. If you don't, this is a great way to really plan out the activity and make it clear to students what it is that you're expecting from them. So once you create that rubric, it will be in the list. So here's what you will do. And my workflow is really to work from the modules. I like to work in the area that I'm actually needing to create an activity, whether it's a quiz, it's an assignment, or it's a discussion. So let me just show you what I mean by that. I'm going to go over here to one of these activities, and this is for week 8, and I really have not put a rubric on some of these assignments, but if I wanted to add that rubric that I had, I would actually come over down here. See, you create your assignment, and then you'll see this plus rubric, and I can actually start from scratch to add that rubric, or I'm going to go over here to find the rubric I already created. Once I find that rubric, I can select it, and then I'm going to use this rubric, and then it would come into this particular assignment or activities area. In this case, it's an assignment. So pretty cool. Again, rubrics are important, and we'll be talking about rubrics, models, and guidelines, and there are some really creative ideas for how instructors have used this concept to help their students be successful. Now, I also want to show you that what's different about adding a rubric to a discussion is the students don't necessarily see it right after the discussion prompt. So instead, they're going to go over to the cogwheel and they can click on Show Rubric. That's once you develop it, that is. When you're creating your discussion, you'll be able to add it. Now with this particular discussion rubric, I have many different criteria areas here. And then I have the ratings, just two. I've simplified some of my rubrics as they've come from Blackboard to Canvas. So it'll be interesting. I'd like some feedback on that because, again, I used to have a lot more elaborate rubrics, and then I saw some other examples. They seem pretty simplified and maybe straighter to the point, which I like. All right, another aspect to this week is you're going to have an opportunity to meet your peer supporter. So what I've done is I've created groups so everyone should see a support group, 1, 2, 3, or 4, and I've paired you up. I've emailed each of you to tell you who you're paired up with, and in some cases, there's been a few of you that haven't published your courses, so your peer supporter couldn't actually get into the course. So I've actually gone ahead, and if that was the case, I did publish your sandbox. Remember, no other students will ever be able to see your sandbox. I think there's a big value in having a peer supporter because, for one thing, you get to discuss some strategies that you're thinking about, brainstorm together, and have another set of eyes. It's amazing how many people can think that they have this perfect activity and the description and the guidelines and the details are perfect until a student actually starts to do the activity. I've experienced that in this class myself. So again, your peer supporter is to encourage you and to be a plus in your course development. Before I leave and sign off, I do want to show you something. I'm going to be asking you each time, which I may have mentioned, some of you are doing a great job of this, if you could just copy and paste into the assignment area when you're done and want to tell me that you've completed the activity, if you could just copy and paste the URL of that course. I want to show you how cool this is. This is from Kirsten. She has actually been doing this a lot, and a couple others have been doing this as well. Watch what happens when I click on the link, and I'm in Speedgrader. Her course comes in, and I can go anywhere in this course to check out what she's done, make my comments, do everything that I need to do right there in Speedgrader. Here's what I love about this. For those of you who might be interested in using Portfolium, our e-portfolio tool, one of our instructors in child development is already doing that. She asks her students to post that particular URL of their portfolio. She can grade it right in Speedgrader. And if you develop web pages or have your students develop some content in the internet or in Google, they can actually just click that link and that page will come into the Speedgrader. So I just want to share with you, thank you for those who are doing this already. I'm going to encourage everyone else. It sure helps me spend my time more on grading and making comments. Otherwise, I've been going out to the admin area, searching for your name, finding your sandbox, and so on and so forth. All right, well, thanks a lot. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll catch up the following week on our Thursday. I'll be doing some grading. Give me a little more time this week because I will be traveling. All right, thanks a lot. Take care.